Far away, across the ocean, there was an island where the sun never rose. Day existed there like an old memory, lost, forgotten. Surrounded by volcanoes, night wandered that island like a living creature, soaked into every rock, every tree, every breath. No people lived there, only shadows. Shadows that did not speak, but listened to every faint scream, every suppressed sob. They say everything that was lost from the world came there. Incomplete desires, broken hopes, and those questions that never received answers. The shadows were made of these. Every shadow was a story, incomplete, broken, and silent. And the oldest shadow of them all was a seeker, once a worshiper of light, now the guardian of darkness. And one night, Buddha arrived on that very island. No one heard the sound of his arrival, but the winds paused. The ocean went still for a moment, as if the night itself leaned in to listen. He came alone, with no followers, no belongings, just a silent gaze and a deep, glowing peace from within. Buddha reached the heart of the island, where the volcanic ash still lay warm upon black stones. From there emerged the shadow, the seeker. A tall, smoke-like figure, his face unclear but his eyes, as if waiting for years. The seeker asked, "Why have you come here? Your light will disturb the balance of this island. Everything here is safe within the shadows." Buddha spoke softly, "I haven't come to change anything, only to witness the silence you've mistaken for peace." The seeker smiled, but his smile carried sarcasm. "Your light only offers illusion. In light, everything is visible, but not everything is true. Darkness reveals only what cannot be hidden." Buddha replied, "You call darkness the truth, but when was the last time you looked within? Perhaps you've been lost in darkness so long, you've begun to fear your own reflection." At this, the shadows drew closer, as if someone had forgotten the truth and was now beginning to remember. Then began a long dialogue, not just between the two, but as if the universe itself was speaking between light and shadow. The seeker, through his logic, his pain, and his experience, had turned darkness into a living worship. He said, "I am the shadow of every person who rejected themselves. No one showing light like you ever saved anyone. At least I stay beside the pain that no one else recognizes." Buddha remained silent for a few moments, then said, "Being beside and imprisoning are two different things. If darkness were so kind, why would anyone fear it?" The night continued. The dialogue deepened. Now even the shadows began to speak. Their voices weren't like human voices, but they reached the soul. An old shadow said, "I was a mother who lost her child. In light, people said everything is fine, but darkness let me cry." A young shadow said, "I was a soldier who ended his own life in the end, because light called me brave, but I was breaking inside." Buddha looked at them, eyes full, but without fear. He said, "What you've endured cannot be denied. But do you want to stay in this darkness forever? Do you think light will betray you, or are you just afraid the world will see your tears, so you hide yourself?" Slowly, a vibration began to spread. The island didn't shake, but cracks began to form within hearts, the cracks of self-realization. The shadows were no longer still, they began to tremble, as if a memory was trying to break free from within. The seeker was now silent. He had been speaking for years, but for the first time, he was listening. He asked, "Can I return to the place where I once lived in the light?" Buddha replied, "You never really left. You just closed your eyes." That night, for the first time, a faint blue line stretched across the horizon of the island. No sun rose, but the night had changed. The winds were still cold, but beneath them, something new had begun to grow, as if the shadow had embraced itself, and from it, a faint light was being born. If we look at our own lives, we too live on that island, where some parts are in light and some in shadow. We either fear the light or we hide in the shadows. But true dialogue happens when we bring both face to face and simply listen. Perhaps change begins there. Perhaps morning is born there. Often we believe we must live entirely in the light, revealing everything, saying everything, or entirely in the dark where no one can see or understand us. But the truth is, life is the dialogue between the two. Peace doesn't come when we erase the darkness. It comes when we understand the shadow. When we can look at that tired, scared, broken shadow within and say, I see you, and I will no longer run from you. Because when we fully accept ourselves, that's when the first dawn rises inside.